Welcome to Easy 3 Sport Production. I'm your host Suttles, and if this is your first time coming to this channel, go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure you hit that sub and turn on those notifications so that you can be notified every single time I drop this giant content. So let's go ahead and get into what the topic is. You seen the thumbnail. Is JJ McCarthy the right pick for the New York Giants? Now, the New York Giants have the number 6 overall pick, and it's been a lot of chatter of which way that they're going to go with it. Are they going to go with the quarterback? Are they going to go with the young quarterback? Or are they going to go with wide receiver? Are they going to work out the line? Or are they even going to trade out of the position? We don't really know what Joe Schoen is planning on doing, but there has been a lot of chatter after the combine. Of course, JJ McCarthy is shooting up everybody's draft boards, and he's jumped into basically the top 10 at a lot of mock drafts because of his combine and because of what he has displayed this past season. Now, JJ McCarthy is a winner. He is. He's a national champion. They just won the national championship at Michigan. He was the quarterback for them. I have some reservations about JJ McCarthy, but I will give my whole opinion of the entire situation and what I just would like to see. So, first, let me talk about JJ McCarthy. I'm not going to throw stats out. I'm not going to, do all the other things. Just going to go off of what I seen from him throughout this past college season. And what I've seen from him is that the positives. He is a winner. He is a winner. He was on a stacked Michigan squad where he made the right decisions. So when the decision had to be made of where to throw the ball, who to get the ball in the hands to, he was great at that. He was really great. He made a lot of tight window throws. He had some good mobility. He looked like a pretty good NFL prospect. Now, there are some things that are negatives, like his footwork and a little bit of his pocket presence, and more so him forcing passes. But the problem with JJ McCarthy is the unknown. Because he was on such a stacked team and they won the national championship, he wasn't asked to do too much. Now, I know his coach, Jim Harbaugh, he came out and said, oh, he's the best quarterback in the draft. Of course he's going to say that, because that was the guy that he recruited, and that's the guy that he just won a national championship with. So, of course, he's going to say that, but he wasn't really asked to do the things that, if he comes to the Giants, he's going to be asked to be done. So I don't really know how his NFL career can pan out, because it's not all about the quarterback all the time. It's more so of the situation that you get into. And is that situation right for you? Now, with the number 6 pick with the Giants, for me, this is my opinion on this one, I would not like to see them draft JJ McCarthy at the 6th pick, because what you will be doing will be putting him in the same situation that you put Daniel Jones in. Daniel Jones was not a very impressive quarterback coming out of Duke. Now, you've seen the skill sets, and the coach who was there, Pat Shermer at the time, he's felt like that he can work with him. Okay, so you draft him, but you draft him at number 6. So what that really does is that puts a target right on your quarterback, because he was drafted so high that he has to perform either year 1, year 2, or whatever, but he has to perform very early. He's not a project kind of guy, and Daniel Jones was a project. We can all see it, because now we're sitting in year 6, and you still got half the people saying to get rid of him and the other half saying that he can still do something. We still have no idea what Daniel Jones is in year 6. So you don't want to repeat history. You don't want to do the same thing. You don't want to overdraft and reach for another quarterback and put him in the same position that you just had one of your other quarterbacks in. You don't want to do that, because that is a recipe for disaster. And especially when he's coming from Michigan, a very stacked team, and you're going to the Giants where you have offensive line trouble. Saquon Barkley is hitting the free agency market, so you don't know what kind of running game you have. Your weapons on the outside, they're pretty good, but they're not top rank. You know, Jalen Hyatt, Wan'Dale Robinson, Darius Slayton, they're good, but are they going to be the good pieces for that quarterback? You don't know. So your entire offense is basically a big question mark, but you're going to draft this kid number 6, and you're going to put him in a hole that you just did Daniel Jones. I don't agree with that. I really don't want to see them do that, and I don't want to see them go through that same scenario, such as, hey, he's going to be the number 6. You know, Daniel Jones may play just a couple games, and then we're going to put him in. So, my opinion for JJ McCarthy, I believe that he is a late first round, early second round pick. I'm not believing the hype of what's going on, because usually whatever the players coming into the combine as, that's originally where they should be drafted. The combine should just give you the measurables and prove to you what they did on film actually matches up. So you don't want to get into the situation where you're thinking about their combine is so much better than what their film was, and then you go ahead and draft and you're going to reach. Now, JJ McCarthy, he has some good qualities, but they need to be refined. He's a project quarterback. I don't want to see him get drafted in the first round so that all the pressure can be on him, because majority of the fan base is already gone with Daniel Jones. And the organization looks like that they're trying to gear themselves away from Daniel Jones as well. So now you're going to put this kid in the point of where Daniel Jones was with Eli, where everybody was just tired of Eli, and then Daniel Jones comes, and now it's just a breath of fresh air, but it's really not what we really want. You know, JJ can just be there. He can have a couple of good games, and we'll be like, oh, yep, we found our quarterback. But did we really? Is he really showing the signs that he can be that next quarterback? Now, for me, I don't see it. For me, I see that he needs a halfway decent team so that he can progress. And if you do draft JJ McCarthy, these are the only two things that I ask from the organization and from the coaching staff. Coming from a Giants fan, it's only 2 things that I ask. If you do draft JJ McCarthy, and even if you do draft him at 6, which I will not agree with, but if you draft him at 6, for the coaching staff, he should not see the field the entire year. The only time he should see the field is if Daniel Jones gets injured and Tommy DeVito gets injured. That's the only time he should see the field. He needs to sit the entire year. If you want to get him in last 2 games or something, that's fine. But he should not be playing more than 3 or 4 games throughout this season. I don't want to see another Daniel Jones situation. 4 games into the season, oh, okay, let's throw our rookie quarterback in there. No, I don't want to see that. I would like to see him sit and learn, because this is also the thing. We're in a microwave society where you want instant gratification. Everything doesn't work like that. And for the NFL, majority of quarterbacks that sat behind the starters and actually learned, they turned out to be way better percentage-wise overall than the guys that just get thrown out there. You've always heard of people saying, oh, you know, we started him a little bit too early. He wasn't ready, like a Zach Wilson or Josh Rosen. They weren't ready. They weren't ready to start. I've never heard anybody say, you know what, we started this kid way too late, man. You know, we started him way too late. He should have started like a year ago. Look at Jordan Love. Sat there for 3 years. Sat down behind Aaron Rodgers for 3 years. He comes out his first year starting, makes it to the playoffs, and he wins a playoff game in his first year as the starting quarterback. The Patrick Mahomes, you already know that story. These are the things, when you sit behind a quarterback, you get to see what their mistakes are, what they do well, how to prepare. You see all of that, and you just make it your own style. JJ McCarthy could sit behind Daniel Jones for the entire year and see everything that Daniel Jones messed up on, and going into the next season, making sure that he doesn't do the same thing. That's what I would need from the coaching staff. Please do not get pressured by the fan base to put him out there early just because we don't want to see Daniel Jones no more. And the other thing that I need to see, I need John Mara not to have a quick trigger finger. If you allow this regime, as in Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen, to draft a quarterback, and if they draft JJ McCarthy, you need to give them 3 years. The clock has gotten reset. You need to give them 3 years with this quarterback to see what can happen. Do not, I repeat, please do not do the same thing that you did with Pat Shurmur. Pat Shurmur made a living in his coaching career making mediocre talent Pro Bowl and All-Pro caliber. That's what he did. He done it all throughout his career. Daniel Jones was the guy that he picked. Daniel Jones was going to be the most talented quarterback that he has ever had, and he had somebody that has fit his system. It is not a surprise that with Pat Shurmur, Daniel Jones threw 24 touchdowns in only 12 games. Now, granted, he definitely had a fumbling problem, but that was going to get fixed. But he threw 24 touchdowns in 12 games in his rookie season. We are talking about Daniel Jones 5 years later, and the closest that he came was when we made it to the playoffs, and he threw for 15 touchdowns and ran for 7. If we're doing the math correct, I want to make sure that I'm doing my math correct. That's 22 touchdowns. That's 22 touchdowns in between passing and rushing. He still didn't even hit his rookie record. And that was only in 12 games in his rookie season. The 2 years ago, when we made the playoffs, he played all 17 games. I still believe that if he would have given Pat Shurmur that 1 more year, Daniel Jones would be so much further as the progression, and you would have seen a better Daniel Jones than what we've gotten now. He's been in too many systems. He's had too many coaches. He cannot succeed here in New York, and you cannot repeat the same thing. You cannot allow them to draft a JJ McCarthy at number 6, and then the next year, if we don't have a good season, then next year fire Brian Daboll and try and bring in another coach, or fire Joe Schoen and the whole regime, and now whoever's coming in has to have this quarterback. You cannot do that. You got to allow these guys to have the time with the quarterback that they pick. You have to allow them to have at least 3 years to see what will happen and what will go down. Now, if things just go alarmingly bad, I totally understand to fire, but you have to give these guys the time, the requisite time, to see what they drafted and how they pan out. You have to do that. That's the only thing that I would ask if they were to draft JJ McCarthy. But if it was me, I would go with the wide receiver at number 6, and I still believe that JJ would still be on the board in the 2nd round. I wouldn't mind having him in the 2nd round. Less pressure. He's going to be on the bench. He's going to sit behind, and then you go throughout. Yeah, you go through it that way. But as for me, I don't see him as a 1st round. But let me know what you think in the comment section. And until next time, I'm out.